I'm a big fan of Afro jazz in general, and I think Oliver was one of these artists that really impacted our lives when we were children, listening to his songs during the struggle, during so many different phases of the African history. And yeah, it is sad to learn about his death, but it is also a new beginning. It is also for the new artists a legacy that they need to learn from. And yeah.
All right, now let's jump into matters technology and of course job creation. We understand that last year, maybe it was in October, that the startup Haus Kigali was launched by Malcolm Runes and of course the Minister of Trade and Commerce here in Rwanda, with much of the aims, of course, creating an entrepreneurial hub that would churn out more startup entrepreneurs and also giving them space to create more ideas that can solve some of our issues today. How has the story been?
So far, the space opened about 3 months ago, officially, the official launch. And we've been hosting more than 50 members right now, as we provide flex desks, we provide private offices. And these are typically startups that come with a certain level of maturity, but are looking for an environment where they can grow as a community as well. So it's just not just an infrastructure, but it's really a community that we're trying to build around this space.
Unemployment continues to be one of the biggest issues on the continent, of course, reflecting the growing number of people that we have. For Rwanda, I think the population growth rate is about 26%, and unemployment somewhere between 16.0%. Of course, it's going down, decreasing as time goes on. But tell me, how do we plan to bank on the youth and entrepreneurship to solve all of this?
Well, what the Westwelle Startup House is doing is to identify startups that have a high potential for growth. Startups that will probably create the jobs of tomorrow. So we look at a range of areas, from agriculture to the creative industry to the IT sector. And scalability for us is a very important aspect. We're also looking for startups that have a clear understanding of their market, understand who the customers are, and also what are the legal implications in terms of compliance. So startups that have already some level of maturity. We also work with pre-incubators, such as K-Labs, such as other institutions. And we make sure that we create this pipeline where they are really coming from the university level, being pre-incubated, and now coming to spaces like ours to go to the next level. So we are not isolated. We work with other actors around. And we want to make sure that in the years to come, in 3 years, 5 years down the road, we can say, these are the startups that came out. These are the number of jobs, and this is how the economy was impacted at the end of the day.
Is there a strategy or maybe in place that could bring these startup entrepreneurs that are currently at Westwelle Startup House in Kigali to venture capitalists?
So what we do is we organize a number of events, networking events, both for the members, but also with the rest of the community around Kigali. And part of the people, some of the people that we invite are also investors in a broader sense, and who are looking into understanding, first of all, what the current market is, what are the startups doing. And so far, we've had quite some good feedback. We are organizing a few events also around this year, and we will be more than happy to host more people. So we'll continue to communicate that over our different channels.
Congratulations on your, of course, position as General Manager for the Startup House. But tell me, transitioning from AC Group as the Chief Technical Manager, right?
Yeah.
Moving over to the Startup House, does this necessarily, did this give you enough experience to bring into this space, or there is still so much to learn?
So, well, to be honest, I started, I would say when I was 18, I was one of these freelancers that had a backpack, and I was going around the city.
How old are you now?
I am 33 now.
That's a good time back, all right.
So I was going around town making websites for people. At the time, there was no space like K-Lab or like the Westwelle Startup House or Impact Hub, for instance. And I understood very soon the need for such an environment. And then I moved on to work with NGOs in the city of Kigali on different projects. I later moved on to work for corporations in Germany. And once I came back, I worked for a startup, AC Group. And I think that gave me a broad range of a view of the entire ecosystems from NGOs to corporations to startups. And I think I can bring that experience as well to Westwelle.
I can simply say you've been in the industry for about 15 years now. You have quite some background on it. But before I let you go, what does the road ahead look like as the new GM for Westwelle Startup House, and the role that you're yet to play in the entire startup ecosystem in the country?
Well, first of all, growing the community and adding value to our services. We provide quality infrastructure, quality internet, meeting rooms, also space to host events. But also making sure we create the right partnerships with actors that are involved in finding the right startups. That is government, that is corporations, that is a whole range of actors. So we're looking at increasing these partnerships over this year, and we're hopeful that 3 years down the road we'll have tangible results that we can share with the community. Yeah.
Okay.